By the way, I do thank you for. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the pop-up Facebook Live show that we're doing. We have a lot of interesting people here today, and for those that are in the veteranpreneur community, you might recognize a couple of these little faces that are out there, including Marty and James from Joint Task Force 214. So, gents, thank you for joining me for this very impromptu pop-up show. And this might be a new marketing strategy, a way of doing podcasts, doing pop-ups. And I think it's kind of interesting, different format a little bit, and very excited to have you guys here. So, guys, what are you up to? What's Joint Task Force? I'm just going to jump right into it. We know you guys are veterans. You're awesome. I could see Ranger tabs in the background. I mean, what more do we have to say? So tell us about JTF 214.
James, you want to kick it off?
No, Marty, you got it, man. You got it, man.
All right. So Joint Task Force 214. That's our new baby. You know, we've got, just like everyone else, we're like serial entrepreneurs, but this one's near and dear to our heart. And the reason why is because there's a lot of vet-on-vet crime, is what I'm going to call it. You know, veterans that are taking advantage of other veterans, selling services that don't amount to anything other than like a Cosmo article. It's about that deep. It's about 2 pages of a PDF deep. And so, right. And so what we want to do with 214 here is, one, you need a 214 to get in, right? You're that transitioning veteran entrepreneur. And what James and I aim to do is provide this veteran entrepreneur or wannabe entrepreneur with all the free material that's out there. As a transitioning veteran and when a 214 holder, there are so many opportunities out there that are for free. And we want to make sure that you know about every single one of them that are out there before we even offer you our content management services or our intros and outro video stuff, similar to stuff that you're doing, Ryan. I mean, just before we even do that, we want to make sure you know that you can reach out to the SBDC, Small Business Development Centers that are local. The Gallant View has a bunch of opportunities they have, but just help educate. And we're starting off with, we're writing 6 ebooks right now where we're going to break them down to, the human capital part of it, the business intel. So basically, you're still doing intel like you would on a mission, but it's business intel. How do you price? How do you understand the competition? Have you done a SWOT analysis? And then we'll move into operations, logistics, planning, and command and control. So it sounds like a military operation because that's our audience. And we want to continue to take it from the Harvard Business Review language and put it back into grunt speak that we can understand. So that's 214 in a nutshell, brother.
That's awesome. And actually, I mean, it's relevant because military operations, running a business, if you infuse military operations into it, the basics there, whether it's a basic 5-paragraph op order like Michael Penny pushes, or more involved MDMP process, like the next level stuff that you're talking about, it definitely can help your businesses run a lot smoother. I mean, I've talked in the past, and he's shown me his operational, his talk, I should say, and his operations. So, when are you guys? Well, I kind of know this, so it's a loaded question. When are you going to start offering services?
The end of this month. We're going to be hot. Go ahead.
I said at the end of this month?
Yes, at the end of February, we'll be hot. Right now, we're trying to figure out, what people need right now, and then also form some partnerships with people, different companies. So if there's people that offer a service and are willing to help offer for free, helping veterans, reach out to us. Come to our page we're on Facebook at JTF 214. You'll see that we're constantly dropping stuff, tidbits in there. We just dropped something I got from my brother Donnell Johns over at Veterans Grow America about free taxes. So took it from Veterans Grow America and put it on our page just to share it. And I got to go back and edit to make sure I give him credit for that. But
is that the VA program right now, where the VA is offering free tax?
Right, free track. There's like 4 or 5 different things that they're offering. But again, that's the kind of stuff that we want to provide, is let people know that, hey, there's the opportunities out there before you have to actually, like you and I have talked so much about this, Ryan, but how can you bootstrap as much as possible? And that's what we're trying to help you to do. Understand you can lean canvas your entire business plan in Trello for free, and then add one person and you get a power up and you get to add more features to it. So
yeah, definitely. That is the main philosophy I work off of, which is being a bootstrap entrepreneur. I'm always trying to maximize the minimums,
right.
Whatever I can do to cut my costs. And I'll tell you, as an entrepreneur, you are looking to cut costs wherever you can. Especially me, I'm always throwing up the SOS, shiny object syndromes. So
Nice.
I have to look for ways to balance everything. And thank
Here's
you.
Some shiny object.
Yeah, there it is right there. Those are Panda shoes by Ryan, by me. Yeah, those are beautiful, man.
These are so comfortable. I mean, I don't know. I know we're not talking about the shoes, but if you're looking for an awesome pair of shoes, obviously you came to the right place and you're listening to the right person. But it's just, this whole thing it's pretty simple. We're just trying to show that we're real people, just like you, and we have everyday lives, and we're entrepreneurs, inspiring, because I feel like you're always inspiring to be better. So I never say I'm an entrepreneur. I say I'm an inspiring entrepreneur. And we've got a lot of lessons learned. Some of them not so positive, some are negative, but at the same time, I feel like those negative interactions actually leverage you to higher things. So it's been fun. I'm excited to get this started. Excited about your social summit coming up. April 3rd is a hard line or deadline for us. So April 3rd is actually pushing us to actually get the products out sooner and faster. So if it wasn't for the April 3rd deadline that you have established right now, we probably would be even pushing it back another 6 months. So I'm excited to be a part and do our part to help our fellow veterans out there in the community.
Yeah, we definitely, from the Veteran Social Summit standpoint, definitely appreciate you guys coming on board and sponsoring Veteran Social Summit to the hashtag Today I Decide, which is going to be a really great event on, if you don't know, on April 3rd, 2021. If you don't know anything more about it, you can head over to Veteran Social Summit. I'll put the link up there, veteransocialsummit.com. You can check it out, learn some more information, subscribe to our newsletter, then you will be in the know completely. And you might even be spammed a little bit, but that's just the nature of the beast. If you want to learn about other veteran businesses, definitely join the email list, because we are pushing out a lot of content in terms of other businesses, other veteran businesses, because we want to promote those in the community, not just the ones that are sponsored us or have sponsored us in the past, but everyone. It's very important to us. That's the mission, one of the missions, I should say, of Veteran Social Summit. But even my other endeavors, like Mountain Up, we have 3 pillars, which is patriotism, adventure, and generosity. And generosity really is in the Army, the selfless service. And that's what we're about. That's why we love JTF 214 and what the mission is there, because you can actually never have enough information, actually, in my opinion. And maybe you can, maybe it'll be overwhelming, but fire hose type stuff. But
the thing to remember, Ryan, is you're just not alone. That's the thing I love about what you're doing. What I love about the summit, it's you're putting people together, because individually we're not that strong, right? But collectively together as a group, as a team, we are so much stronger. So that's what I'm excited about. You're bringing this event. I'm honored just to even be mentioned in here with you right now, and with this great event coming up. I mean, it's just a true humbling and honoring experience.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about JTF 214. It's doing some awesome stuff. It's going to be kicking off here soon. You can check him out on Facebook it's at JTF214. You could correct me, guys, if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Let's shift gears since we got the business part out of the way. Now, Marty, I know his backstory, let's talk about your origin story. So we know you were in the military, but why did you join the military when you came on board the first time? And then talk about your initial enlistment, if you will, and just kind of your progression.
Yeah, sure. So I came in a long time ago, 1992. Came out of high school. I actually did a little bit of time. Went to college, and I realized, honestly, I was pretty much just wasting my parents' money in college. But I took a minute, analyzed, and realized, I had always wanted to go into the Army, and I always wanted to be a Ranger. So I went and joined the Army. Funny stories. The recruiter had told me that he couldn't give me a Ranger contract, but he could get me to an airborne unit out at Fort Ord called 7th Infantry Division. I was like, okay, sounds good. I didn't know that there is no airborne out there. So, I got lucky. Once we got out to Fort Benning, they asked for volunteers who wants to go to Ranger Regiment. Raised my hand, went out to RIP, Ranger Indoctrination Program, joined the Army, and that's, became a Army Ranger. Did that for a few years, and then went back to college now that my head was on straight. Went to college, and I had no intention of actually coming back into the military until I met ROTC instructor out there at the time, Captain Fernando Avalos at Southwest Texas State University. And he talked to me about it, and it was like, it just clicked. I was like, you know what? I still love the military. I still love this, and I think I could be a pretty good leader. So I joined ROTC and then winded up commissioning in 2000 and became an Army officer, infantry officer, still infantry, but this time now as 11 Alpha, and went out to Fort Benning, Georgia. And then the third time where I analyzed myself was in 2007 and realized, hey, this is great. I'm still having fun, but eventually this is going to end. And what am I going to have to show for it? And so I realized that I didn't want to do guard dog security. I didn't want to do anything like that. So I looked and I went to the route of the functional areas. And that was one of the best decisions I ever made because I got to become a modeling and simulation officer. And it provided all these different skill sets that I would never have had otherwise. And so that was one of my best military decisions, was becoming something other than infantry. I love my infantry. I love all that, but now adding to the greater community, like, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and Joint, NATO, regional exercise. I was able to touch all of it because of my one job, where I could plan these large scale exercises and help information while we were doing operations in Iraq and Syria.
When I think of simulations, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but when I think of simulations, I think Ender's Game, I think Hunger Games.
Right. Yeah. So, we always say, can't tell what's live or what's Memorex. It's basically war games. It's the big games out there that are just training our men and women for whatever comes their way and putting them through the hardest scenarios. And there's a pride and ownership and a satisfaction, because there's a lot of things we do in life where we're not going to know until later down the road that I actually make a difference. And one of the cool things about what I was able to do was put people through these grueling 2-week, 3-week exercises. And at the end of it, you can see they grew. We improved the human performance in decision making. We improved the organizational performance in orchestrating these large scale operations. So, and that's kind of once I retired. I just retired the end of October 31st, and I'm carrying that on. And that's what we're doing with 214 is still, how are we increasing human performance and organizational performance by providing knowledge, providing training, just continue to communicate and help our brothers and sisters still.
Hey, Ryan, he forgot a couple key points. Point number one, do you know Marty's nickname by chance? What we call him?
No, what is it?
I'm scared.
He's the MOAC, master of all knowledge, the MOAK, the MOAC. He is that guy. He's going to have a shirt.
I'm telling
you.
Mind in the background.
I know. I'm telling you, he's amazing, man. The other thing you forgot to tell you was I was his boss for like about several months when I was his XO at Second 325. But anyway, that's another story in itself. But no, man, I tell you, Marty's doing some wonderful things. It's amazing how, our friendship, we had a gap, just like most military veterans, we, crossed paths. And then when we ran into each other again, I was actually went to his pinning when he made Lieutenant Colonel. I was actually able to hold the flag at the Iron Mike. It's just funny how things worked out. But, the bottom line is everything comes back. And, Marty's just, he's a great individual, has so much, intelligence. I hate to say this and be bragging about him, but he's very intelligent and he's a forward thinker. He's always been a forward thinker. He's already 5 steps of what we're talking about right now. He could probably tell me or tell you what I'm going to say in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, let me play this real quick from Beautiful Mind. This reminds me of Marty. This is probably this is the lieutenant. She's a lieutenant colonel, right, Marty?
Yeah.
Mrs.
Yes.
Again. Sorry. I didn't have time to wrap it.
Is this how you propose, Marty?
Refractive faces of the glasses, so they create a full wavelength dispersal. So if you look inside it, you can see every possible color.
Not quite.
The MOAC, man. I'm telling you, the MOAC.
This is Beautiful Minds.
The college at the governor's house. He said that.
All right. Next time I'll actually have a good thing. We're going to leave that up in the background though, so we can have that. So James, what is your story? What's your kind of origin story? And why? Wait, one question though. So, no, go ahead, James. Tell us a little bit about your origin story.
I'm nervous about what you're going to ask me. I didn't know if you sure you don't want to ask me the question first.
No. I learned a lot about you today.
Yeah. So, as far as military goes, I've come from a 3rd generation military. So my whole family has been in the military for many years. So it wasn't about whether or not I was going to be in the military. It was just going to be determined on which branch of service I would go into. To be transparent and honest, I wanted to go in the Air Force, but for some reason, the year that I applied, there was too many applicants for to be pilots. So what happened was I left the ROTC building there at the college and looked across this hall, and there was this Master Sergeant Torrey, and he goes, "Come here, airborne." And the next thing I know, I signed up, and I was, in basic doing 97. I'm an older person myself, and then I actually got commissioned in 1999, and then that's where I went to Fort Bragg. I was 11 Alpha originally, and then one thing that's interesting about that Marty will probably bring out if I don't bring it out, for 6 months, I think it was maybe 10 months, I was a 25 Alpha signal officer. So I do have a couple identifiers in the Army. I left active duty in 2003 to become a North Carolina State Trooper. So, my whole life has been about service, and this is why it's just I'm excited about the Joint Task Force 214 and getting that started. But I'm more interested in what questions you have for me, Ryan. I know you had something because you were smiling.
So, no. So, for both of you, a lot of people, a lot of young people, probably not most people that are watching this, but they have this fantasy, boyhood fantasy, maybe even what girl fantasy about becoming Rangers. And tell us a little bit about that journey, just specifically about why did you decide to become a Ranger, and how was that? I mean, do you think that that's helped you really set you up for success?
Well, for Marty, Marty's actual, black and red Ranger Battalion grew up. So for that, he's got a different experience than I do.
Okay. I'm not a Ranger. What's the difference between, the Ranger tab guy and the battalion guy? Just for those that don't have a freaking clue out there.
I'll let Marty take that one.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's muted.
He put himself on mute.
Sorry. Here you go. So in a nutshell, the Ranger Tab, the black and gold, is a TRADOC school. It's a leadership school, and it teaches you a lot about yourself as who you are, what's your leadership styles, how to deal with other leadership styles, and basically what we do. I say we because I worked out at Ranger School for a while as well, but try to simulate the conditions of combat through sleep deprivation, extreme fatigue, and one meal a day. And so basically when it's said and done, you've walked from Savannah, Georgia to Boston. And so it's a great school. The Ranger Regiment that's the way of life. You are special operations guys. You're kicking indoors. Our Rangers have been deployed nonstop every single day since, I think it's like October 3rd of 2001. The only unit in DOD that has been deployed nonstop. So that's it's just different. It's the U.S. Army's premier raiding force and basically counter-terrorist force, and it's considered a Tier 1 special operations unit.
Outstanding.
So for myself, as far as with, I see you got some videos.
That's Ranger School.
It was just, as an 11 Alpha, it was ingrained in my head, your group 99, it was ingrained in my head that you had to get your, tab before you showed up as a platoon leader. Because, you're showing up as a brand new second lieutenant and you have no experience for the most part. Not everyone is prior service and has that enlisted background to go, to rely upon. So you're a brand new second lieutenant coming from college. And this is, a requirement prior to getting your platoon. And it's just, for me back in the day, if you showed up without your tab at your unit, you probably didn't get a rifle platoon, right? Depending on the unit you were in. So, looking back on it, it was a tough leadership course. It tested my strength, endurance, and my stamina. But at the same time, it taught me the basic information that I use today. It gave me the foundation, and the foundation that I have now, is, and there's been gaps here, but the foundation is keep moving, keep acting, keep moving. I think Marty got on to me the other day. I injured my, both my biceps. I actually ruptured both my bicep tendons and had surgery to repair both of them. And I've been using those as an excuse not to keep moving. And then Marty, and this is why Joint Task Force 214 is so important. Even we need each other. We rely on each other. We're battle buddies, right? We're Ranger buddies. So he said, look, man, you got to get up and move. He said, you're not moving. You're not exercising. You can swim. You got a membership there at a swimming pool. So every excuse, right, that I kept giving him, he was my accountability coach and said, no, that's not right. And I think that's what Ranger School does. It holds you accountable. It puts you in a place where, it tests your leadership ability, but then at the end of the day, it holds you accountable to something. And that's, that's what this whole thing's about. And, Marty does it on a daily basis. I think Annette, Annette really well, right? She gets to hear some of our banter back and forth. I joke around because, I call Marty the Alpha team and I'm the Bravo team. And, we, basically operate together, and that's where we find our sweet spot. I leverage off of him and he can leverage off of me. Sometimes not every day is a good day, being transparent. Some days are more difficult than others. I've been dealing with some stuff personally that, I hold things, I'm most hard on myself, and I have to have, a daily pep talk with Marty. And that's what we want to do with 214. We want to not just be a group that you can go to once a month, once a week, once a day. This is a group that's going to actually be there for you in the tough times. Because you know what? It's not about, hey, how great you're doing and celebrate those victories. Yeah, absolutely. We'll be there for those victories and celebrations. But it's when you're down in that hole and you need somebody down there that's been there with you. That's what it's about. And that's where we're going to come with our experience. I'm excited. Marty gets me excited. The MOAC gets me excited.
I like it. So, little less serious question. I'll throw this out to Marty. What is your favorite movie and why?
My favorite movie is Princess Bride because it has got so many different aspects to it. Each time I watch it, I enjoy a different part of it. And it's also my favorite quote, how I introduce myself, because everyone knows me as Marty, but my real name is Arnulfo Juan Martinez. So when we're in those awkward settings where they're like, everyone, let's go around the room and everyone introduce yourself. I always usually start off with, my name is Arnulfo Juan Martinez. You killed my father, prepare to die. And so, great quote. Plus, you got to love him. So
that's how he introduced himself to me at position of attention.
Really?
Right.
I actually believe that.
Hey, it is what happens. You know, I have some witnesses. You know, Captain Jacquet back in the day. You know, Captain Griggs, those folks, Lieutenant Dixon, all those folks, Mike Maloney, all them guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is your James? What's your favorite movie and why?
So my favorite movie is Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid with Ralph Macchio, and it just for me. I was living in Germany when it came out. And Marty and I actually talked about this yesterday, but I got to see the movie in the Kino in K-Town in Kaiserslautern in Germany. Right. And, you know, that movie, I mean, if you think about it, and I hate to use Donald Miller and Story Brand, but, you know, it's the classic Donald Miller and Story Brand book, a movie. You know, it's got a villain. It's got the person that, you know, the villain, I don't know, depending on which episode, because didn't they just do some kind of remake of the Cobra Kai? So I've been following that too.
Yeah, I hate to, well, I don't hate to say it, but yeah, I've been watching the Cobra Kai, and it's I actually like it, man. It's really flushed out the whole story of the Karate Kid and really given it some depth.
Well, see, back in the day, I felt like I kind of was the Karate Kid. You know, I took Taekwondo and I did all those things, and I could relate to the Karate Kid. Other than the part getting beat up, I usually was not the one getting beat up. But no, not to be bragging or anything. But
about the whole storyline that Daniel was actually the bully.
Oh, I love that story. Yeah,
he's the toxic figure.
You know, and I think that's the thing. You know, we look at things from our perspective, our foxhole, right?
He ruined the guy's life, bro.
He did, the guy. But you know what? It didn't end up too bad. You know, didn't he end up with a Hemi, a Dodge SRT8 Hemi? So I mean, he couldn't be that bad.
Oh, I think he had to sell it, man.
Oh, Johnny sold that thing.
Johnny had to sell it, and he became like an alcoholic, and basically he was washed up. Now he's like trying to bring his life back together. You know, in the Cobra Kai, you know, he has a dysfunctional relationship with his son, divorcee. That's all because of freaking, you know, this little brat, man, Daniel.
Well, you know, he was the kid trying to fit in. You know, he moved from Reseda, or he was living in Reseda, and he moved from to the city and went to California, I guess it was. Yeah, I know everything about this, man. I mean, I can do the accent for Miyagi, you know, Miyagi do karate, but I'm not going to do it. Oh, wait, I just did. But, you know, the thing about it is it's the classic, you know, at the end of the movie, if you don't get chills and don't have one tear come out of your eye, you're not human, in my opinion.
Let's see. There's Daniel is the real bully. Here it is. And we'll just watch a little bit of this. But this is the conspiracy theory that, you know, Daniel is actually
Kid is the story of Daniel, a violent sociopath who moves to a California town and begins tormenting a local boy and his friends. Johnny is a high school senior with a commitment to atone for past mistakes and move his life forward in a positive direction.
So, ex-degenerate, man. 8 a.m. tomorrow, I'm a senior. Got 1 year to make it all work. And that's what I'm going to do. Make it work.
They are destined to meet when Daniel's neighbor invites him to a beach party, where he becomes instantly obsessed with Johnny's newly ex-girlfriend, Allie.
Hi.
After a courtship ritual consisting solely of creepy, unbroken eye contact, he approaches her, only to be summarily rebuffed. Johnny arrives to patch things up with Allie, but the discussion becomes heated.
Well, I want to talk to you, all right?
Now, I want to be clear about this. What Johnny is doing is not okay, and he should respect her wish to be left alone. Johnny is, in the end, a flawed hero. But one thing he is definitely not doing is getting violent. Daniel, however, seeing an opportunity to insert himself into Allie's life, chooses to escalate the situation, demanding a return of Allie's radio. Frustrated and heartbroken, Johnny complies with Daniel's request, and in the heat of the moment, pushes him down. Daniel now has the radio, and Allie is still in no danger. Nevertheless, he attacks Johnny, who merely steps aside, allowing Daniel to knock himself to the ground.
I didn't do anything.
But when Daniel refuses to let it go, Johnny must use force to end this violent outburst for the safety of everyone present. So what is Daniel's response to Johnny's non-aggression? Pow, a sucker punch right to the mouth. Johnny defends himself, as is his legal right, and then de-escalates the situation by leaving the scene entirely. The next day in school, Daniel tripped while playing sport ball. Rather than accepting that occasional bumps and bruises will happen during playtime, Daniel instead externalizes the blame onto Johnny's friend Bobby and proceeds to ground and pound him, MMA style. A few days later, Daniel attempts to enroll at a karate school, obviously intending to up the game so he can get revenge on Johnny. Put it this way, how would you feel if someone picked a fight with you, lost, and then went out the next day and bought a gun? Well, that...
What are the rules here? Oh, no.
To no one's surprise, Johnny advances to the final round, and karma catches up with Daniel when his leg is injured by the boy he wants. Presents Daniel with his tainted blood trophy. May you choke on in your wet dreams, you rotten little prick.
All right.
Well, that's an interesting twist and analogy. Like I said, it's all about perspective, right? Jeez.
Have you ever seen that before?
I've seen, to be honest, I have 3 daughters. Okay. So I've seen every episode up until season. I think they're on 4 right now. They just came out on Netflix. I've saw, what's the right word there,
North
Ryan?
Carolina, isn't he, Marty?
I'm in North Carolina. What is it?
You were born in Louisiana, though, right?
Yeah. I was born in Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana. That's another story. But yeah, I mean,
From Marty.
I'm from Texas.
Okay, that's right. So you a little bit different than North Carolina in the backwoods of Louisiana.
That's true. We wore shoes.
I was actually born in Roscoe Parish, by the way. I was born in a parish, not a county, just so you know.
All right. Well, guys, I think we've taken a lot of your time today. And any closing thoughts on JTF 214? And another thing, what is one piece of advice that you would give to wannabe, inspiring bee entrepreneurs and veterepreneurs? And in addition to that, is there any specific advice when dealing with other veterans in the veteran community? And that's for either of you or both of you.
I got a short answer. We'll go. Marty's going to get it. Marty will have the. Go ahead, Marty. You got it, man.
James is the 5-second sound bite. So
yeah,
I'm the loquacious fellow. Yeah.
Airborne.
I would say, to pull from, as we talked about Ranger School, it's the same advice that got me through Ranger School, which is be the last to sit down and the first to get up. And that's that's what you need to do as an entrepreneur. You need to remember that you can finish this and you're going to be an entrepreneur. Suck it up. Just keep moving because you're a badass and they can't break you. And that's what I kept telling myself. Just keep moving forward. Figure out how you can help others. Figure out how you can help yourself. Look at the gaps that you have and address it. Move on. Complete your objectives. Same advice I had in Ranger School, and I told everybody that went to Ranger School. It's the same thing I'll tell people that go, I want to be an inspiring entrepreneur, vetrepreneur.
And, just to get my B plug on there, bottom line is this, and Marty's spot on. But at the end of the day, it's about action. Stop talking about what you're going to do and go do it. I get tired of people telling me what they're going to do. It's frustrating, right? So if you want to be an entrepreneur, go do it. Stop telling me what you're going to do and go execute. It's all about that, task, purpose, and go make it happen. Move, action, words. I can't stand words. I need action, results. Too easy, right?
I think it is. And I would say, don't let the naysayers get in your way. Keep on climbing, keep on climbing. So thanks a lot, guys. We're going to end this show today. Thank you for everyone that's out there watching us out in social media land. We do appreciate you. And thanks for attending our pop-up show. And take care. If you have any questions or comments or want to reach out to James or Marty, especially as it concerns to Joint Task Force 214, definitely hit them up. You can find them right here on social media by posting in the comments or just by looking them up at JTF 214. Take care. God bless America.